Hey guys, thanks for joining us. It's the 6th of September 2019. I'm Justin, and as always, I'm joined by Perry.
Well met.
Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube. You can add us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher. We're pretty much everywhere where you could catch a podcast, so go find
Yeah,
us.
yeah, we're everywhere.
What's up? It's Alexander Madison, running back from the Minnesota Vikings, and you're watching Clock Management.
Welcome back. We got that exciting new intro with Alexander Madison. That's pretty awesome. I love that.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty cool.
Um, Also, it's Friday, so
Yeah, speaking of exciting, something that wasn't very exciting is that game last night.
oh yeah, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, but first, it's Friday, Perry. What beer you got over there?
I'm riding
Priorities
simple.
here.
I'm riding simple this evening. Just a Blue Moon, Belgian
Okay.
white Blue Moon. You know, it's old trusty. It works. Tastes good. I like it.
Yeah, I talked to Perry earlier today, and also producer Sean, and they inspired me. They both talked to me about this, so I'm like, let me go get it. So I went and got some Elysian Night Owl.
Oh yeah, man, that stuff is delicious. I almost bought some, but then my wife told me you have beer in the fridge. That wasn't a no, but it might as well have been.
I just took my first drink, and it is quite amazing.
Yeah.
Um, so what's new over there, Perry?
Man, not a whole lot. Just, getting excited for football. I feel like last night was such a tease.
Yeah,
Uh,
that preseason football was awesome, right?
God, yeah. I was pumped up when the teams you saw who was playing.
Yeah,
I was excited, man. I was expecting a good game, not a huge, like high scoring game, but more than what was scored last night.
yeah. Do you want to get just straight into that right now?
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like it's like it needs to come out. I need to
Yeah.
complain,
Let's just
right?
get into it.
Yeah,
Uh,
so it was garbage. All right, moving on.
oh no, so
uh,
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of stuff to discuss from that game.
Lots
There's
to unpack. There is a lot to unpack.
yeah, because like a play. First of all, let's go back to our last episode.
Hmm.
Uh, the biggest takeaway I told you guys from early season, especially week one, don't panic. Don't
Right.
make any rash decisions based off of week one. And
This
I
is where
feel
that
like,
advice comes into play.
yeah, this game is perfect. A perfect example of that. That's why they did this game, is so they could illustrate my point.
Yeah. They're like, just to give an example, David Montgomery, right? People are going to be so low now on David Montgomery because Mike Davis, who we haven't even been talking about, the guy
There's a reason for
coming out of
that.
Seattle. I mean, he's never really had like a super prosperous career. So now people are going to be very low on David Montgomery. Don't go dropping David Montgomery. I wouldn't even trade David Montgomery right now because you're going to be trading him at such a low value that you're getting nothing back really or nothing of significance. So,
And
um, yeah,
I read an interesting stat because, Tariq Cohen, I mean, he killed it out there. One
he
of
had a
the
great
few
night. He had a
players
great night.
that looked impressive. And his usage was the thing that stuck out to me, how much they
Yeah.
put him out in that slot position.
He was their number two receiver,
Yeah.
and he didn't have a huge night. I think a lot of what he got was in the at the end they were trying to play catch up, but he
Yep.
looked good, right?
Yeah.
And I think maybe we probably listen to the same thing, but he might as well just be a slot receiver at this point.
Oh, yeah. And it's great that you could start him in that running back position
Yeah, yeah, I
as like a
agree.
flex or something like that. Like, it's great. Like, I mean, depending on how your team looks, he's not like a high end flex, but he's a guy that you could have gotten pretty late in the draft that looks like, especially in a PPR league, is going to be valuable.
Yeah, I like Tariq Cohen. I think considering how anemic that offense was last night, what he ended up with, I mean, you're satisfied. You'll take that. And if you're in a half point PPR, you got an extra 4 points.
Yeah, and how
So,
we were talking about how he was out in that slot position so much. Him
mhm,
and or Montgomery and Davis, one of them was in on 94% of the snaps.
right. And everybody's freaking out about Mike Davis. Now, I know that Mike Davis got 6 receptions, and that's really what people are worried about with David Montgomery. Uh, but David Montgomery had a really good 27-yard reception.
Yeah, and
Again,
that's my thing.
on
Look at the quality of the
yeah, that was
receptions.
an incredible catch. He also had more carries than Mike Davis, so he
Yep.
had one more carry. So first real NFL game for this kid. I'm not panicking. I'm not panicking and not going to overreact.
No, yeah, for sure. And he outperformed. He just looked better in general than
Yeah.
Davis. So he's a rookie. I think a lot of people are panicking because the hype builds so much around rookies, especially. People
Yeah.
expect them to come out and be Zeke, but
And
Zeke
yeah,
just had the perfect opportunity with that same talent, and so
right.
it's just a perfect storm for him.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll talk about uh all these rookie running backs next Tuesday, after all these games have happened. But yeah, let's move on a little bit here. We'll
I
move
got
on
a
to
couple more stats I want to get into real quick, just real quick on this game.
oh my. Well, no, I
Okay.
was still on the game.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
we're
move
not.
past it.
Whoa,
I'm like,
whoa.
whoa, whoa,
No,
whoa.
no, 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 no.
All we talked about was running backs.
No, we're gonna talk about the Bears here. Mitchell
Yeah.
Trubisky, that might have been
Oh.
one of the worst games of his career, in my opinion. He only had one interception. You mentioned it today, and I heard it on another show. He should have had four.
Yeah.
And going back and looking at the tape, yes, he should have had 4 interceptions. Terrible game by Mitchell Trubisky, and I'm disappointed because I was pretty high on him going into the season. I think
Yeah.
you and I even
A lot of
drafted him
people,
in a team.
yeah, we did. A lot of people saw him taking a step forward this year, and
Yeah,
uh, that wasn't promising. I hope he gets that rust off,
yeah,
but that's not what I wanted to see out of him. Like I said, I'm not worried about Montgomery. I am worried about Trubisky. I'm not
yeah.
ready to sell or anything like that, but
I will say the fact that he didn't play a single preseason snap,
exactly.
I think that decision was ill-advised. I think that he should have probably played it in a couple preseason games.
Yeah, especially as a young
Yeah,
quarterback, he needs that time to develop. That's great for him, and he should have been
yeah.
there.
Two more people I want to talk about. One is Allen Robinson.
Okay, I had my fingers
Which,
crossed. I'm like, please be Allen
yeah,
Robinson.
I've been telling you, and I've been telling a lot of people that Allen Robinson is going to be a good wide receiver this year. I never said he'd be a number one, top 10 wide receiver, but he will be a good start every week wide receiver. And last night, he was fantastic. He was really the
Yeah,
only player.
that was the best game, better game than he had the entire last season.
He's healthy. Finally, he's healthy. He's had a full year on that team. Him and Mitchell Trubisky have been working together all year. 7 receptions, 102 yards. I will take that every week out of a wide receiver. I'm not saying he's going to break 100 every week, but
Was it 102? I had written down
102.
149.
No, it was 102. At least that's what I'm showing right here,
Okay,
for the game log. So,
gotcha.
and the other player I wanted to talk about was Anthony Miller. Now, I think I owe everyone an apology. The guy threw up a donut. I think he had one target, didn't catch it, 0 yards, zero nothing. He might as well not have been there. I'm not giving up on Anthony Miller yet. I
He
think he's
really,
a young.
he really Geronimo Allison'd us.
Yeah, yeah, we'll get there too. Um, so again, kind of like the David Montgomery, don't panic yet. I feel like David Montgomery's probably got a bigger future, and with running backs, you just have to be careful about being too aggressive with dropping them. But give Anthony Miller another week. I think we'll see some improvement. But
With
Allen
Anthony
Robinson, man,
with Anthony Miller, I'm fine with pivoting just because he's not that high draft capital player to where like I'm telling you not to panic and drop him or trade him.
yeah,
If there's like another good talent out there, I would be fine with grabbing them. Now, I'm not saying that Anthony Miller isn't going to be fine next week. I definitely think he's going. I mean, there's no way he could not improve.
Right.
But I mean, there could be other players out there that are also worth it at a similar value. So I mean,
Sure.
I'm not as like, oh, you got to hold on to him as I am like a David Montgomery or
Definitely.
even a Trubisky.
Yeah, I mean, with the value at quarterback right now, I think a lot of lates you could probably drop Mitchell Trubisky and go pick up somebody like Philip Rivers.
Oh
Like,
yes,
so
if that's
so
the case, then I don't know why you still have Trubisky. I told you to draft Philip Rivers.
okay, moving on here. It's supposed to be a quick episode. Moving on to the
Yeah.
Packers, we'll start at the top. Aaron Rodgers. I don't care that he won the game. He played terribly.
He did, but
the Bears defense is very, very good.
yes,
But 203 yards, 1 touchdown. He had 1 very good drive. If that hadn't happened, they probably lose the game. And
the biggest thing to me
we're
though
talking
was
about like
the
150 yards.
yeah was the pressure on him during that game. Like that Bears defense looked great. That defensive line.
It's going to be the best defense in the league. I know a lot of other defenses got stronger, but like the Bears are going to be the best defense in the league. And because of that, if your quarterback is playing the Bears and you don't have one of those guys that you can't drop, like Aaron Rodgers,
It's going to be rough.
You might want to consider streaming a quarterback. So that's why another reason not to reach on quarterback, right? We're seeing it right here is you can't drop him and he's playing the Bears, right? Do you really want to play Deshaun Watson against the Bears right now?
Yeah. I had a league where I got Aaron Rodgers in the 8th round, which I was really happy with until last night.
Right. Yeah. Let's move into the running backs. Aaron Jones, he got a lot of work. He had 13 touches in a game that was just
he
terrible.
He saw 59% of the snaps.
Right.
That's a positive indication for him.
I think that'll go up.
I do too.
But it was just a weird game, man. It was just a punt after punt after punt. So Aaron Jones, 13 carries for 39 yards. Not what you were hoping to see out of a guy that was probably your number 1 running back if you took him, possibly number 2. So hopefully there's some improvement there.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, he is going against the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
So
best defensive front for sure.
Yeah, that's a rough game. If anyone was expecting Aaron Jones to come out and have a 3 touchdown, 200 rushing game, then they're out of their mind.
Yeah, I will say a positive is the next best rusher on the team was Aaron Rodgers with 8 yards. Then Jamal Williams with 5 carries for 0 yards.
Yeah, impressive.
And then Marquez Valdez-Scantling for 1 carry, 1 yard or 0 yards. So there were only 2 people on that entire team that had rushing yards. One of them was the quarterback.
So Scantling probably should have been ahead of
average.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I mean, the average
is zero.
So,
but I would think an average of 0 on 1 carry is a lot better than an average of 0 on 5.
I guess the point I'm trying to get to is Aaron Jones was at least able to get almost 40 yards against this defensive front, whereas Jamal Williams on 5 carries couldn't get anything. So
yeah, and
there's a positive there.
And then the speaking of Valdez-Scantling, the receiving on over on the Green Bay side, you got Scantling had 1 really big play. And then he had I think he had what? Do you know how many catches?
He had 2 pretty decent plays.
Yeah,
right there at the end. But
and Geronimo Allison vanished.
Yeah, and I was convinced that he was the guy. So, I mean, there you go. You can't be perfect in fantasy. You can't predict no matter how much reading and research you do and film you watch. So,
and I read the Bears' game plan was to. They were trying to game plan Devontae Adams out of the game.
Worked.
You saw him multiple times in triple coverage.
It worked.
Yeah. He still had a few catches, but they did a great job.
4 receptions, 36 yards out of who a lot of people had as the number 1 receiver. So
I did. I still do. Triple coverage.
Everything that came out of Green Bay, offensively, don't panic. They played the Bears defense. So,
and well, there's one thing you definitely should not be panicking about, and that's Jimmy Graham.
Yes.
I know I was talking to you during the game, but I felt so vindicated. I saw other fantasy experts and podcasters talking about, man, we really screwed this one up with Jimmy Graham, and I was like, I don't know who we are.
Yeah. Clock management didn't screw that one up.
Yeah,
We've had your back the whole time, Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, that was one me and Perry actually like both really agreed on when we started looking at his stats. That's probably my favorite late pick tight end in the draft.
And honestly, he did start to move up, especially in our circles, because so many of our friends listen to the podcast. He started to move up in our drafts.
Yeah,
I know Darian took him, and Darian texted me last night as soon as it happened, and yeah, man, it did feel very good to step out and risk pumping up a player so much, and then it actually worked out. That was fun. I enjoyed that. It was probably the best part of the whole night, to be completely honest with you.
Oh my god, I actually cheered when he caught that touchdown.
Yeah, me
I
too.
have no interest in the winner of that game, but I cheered right there.
Yeah, that was good. Okay, so yeah, last night's game, total stinker, but I guess that's just the norm for Thursday night.
And just some notes from it, some key takeaways I think are good.
Yeah. Let's move on to some more news. We don't have a ton to talk about today. I'm going to start with some good normal news. Tyreek Hill gets a 3-year extension with the Chiefs for $54 million.
And we got some other breaking news with that. We're going to be giving away an autographed Tyreek Hill jersey when we get to 300 subscribers on YouTube. Sticking with that 300 number.
Yeah, that's a big goal for us. We got a ways to go, but it can go really fast if you guys just share this video, share our channel with your friends. Have your parents subscribe to it. Have your brother, sister, whoever, because if they win and they don't like football, then you get the jersey too. So let's go. Let's share this out and try and get up to 300 so we can give this thing away.
Awesome.
But yeah, great news for Tyreek Hill. Whatever happened in the offseason, we all have our opinions on that. But, I guess we're moving past that. So are the Chiefs. As a fantasy fan, I like good players being on the field. I'm going to say that 100 times this season. Tyreek Hill is a fantastic player. I want him on the field.
You're at
especially
12.
if he's on my team. 12?
Yeah, that's what you're at right now. Of saying how many times you've said that. Yeah, I got the counter going.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, keep a tally for me. And I own Tyreek Hill, so that's great. The next player that we're going to talk about, I also own him. Not so great. Antonio Brown. We've talked about him. I feel like we have to have an Antonio Brown watch. You said we're
going to start a separate podcast that's just about Antonio Brown.
You said we're going to have a soundboard here pretty soon, right? With some drops. Yep. We're going to have an Antonio Brown drop, because I feel like you can't even go 3 hours without having some wacky news about him. It was reported yesterday.
The drop for Antonio Brown's going to be the cold as ice.
Oh man, he's willing to sacrifice his own head and feet. Antonio Brown, it was reported yesterday that he was very upset regarding the fines he was getting for the time he missed while arguing with the NFL about his helmet. Got into a shouting match with the GM and threatened physical violence of some sort. I'm not exactly sure.
He said he was going to punch him in the effing face.
There we go. Very specific. Only the best reporting here on Clock Management.
I got you.
Yeah. So then the repercussions of that was a possible suspension, in which case he might lose out on his $30 million guaranteed money. Obviously, he didn't want that. And then it was reported that he was going to be suspended. He would not be playing Monday. We wake up today. The first piece of news that comes out is from John Gruden saying there's still a chance he plays. He likes Antonio Brown, and then now he's playing.
Well, and he gave a heartfelt, I think the headline was, apology.
Yeah, more like a wallet felt apology.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, you and I just watched
Hold
that
on.
video.
Oh yeah, I
Go
was gonna
ahead.
say there's more news. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Go
then
ahead.
there's actually two more that I got on that. First, right before the aforementioned video came out, the Antonio Brown said that they announced that he's being fined for what he said to the GM.
Yeah.
And then and that there's reports Antonio Brown is upset about that. Which, yeah, that's crazy.
Again, not being
Deja vu. It's like the helmet situation all over again.
Yeah, refusing to be responsible for his own actions.
And then he puts out a video. It was a professional video. It was like well put together. It had music to it. It was supposed to be really intense. I felt like he thought it was a lot bigger than what it was. But then
that describes him though.
yeah, right. And then at the end, he plays a phone call from Gruden where Gruden's telling him, just play football.
Yeah. Just shut up and play football, man. Like the all the other stuff is just
Distractions.
nobody understands it. It's distractions. I want to be careful because I really hate the interview with LeBron James
I think that's what Antonio Brown was trying to go after, but this is completely different. Your issue isn't because you're trying to stand up for some cause or you're trying to do something. Your issue is all football related. You're causing problems on the football team about your GM, your coach, the helmet you have to wear that every other player also has to wear. It's not like, oh, I'm trying to stand up for a cause. No, you're being selfish.
Right. And that's what he brought up was like when Gruden said you're a football player, play football. Antonio Brown says, well, I'm also a human being. Yeah, you are a human being, but you're being paid millions and millions of dollars to play football. And so far you haven't played a single game for the Raiders and caused nothing but issues with things that are nothing but selfish choices on your part. The helmet, like Justin just said, the helmet, everybody has to deal with this rule. I don't understand it. And then getting in a shouting match with the GM about fines for not being with the team when you're supposed to.
It's in your contract.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. I can go on and on. I just think it's childish and shameful. But
whatever. Spent enough time on that.
Yeah. All right. News nobody cares about.
Yeah. So I didn't do a lot on this just because it's been an intense week where we have actual football going on. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the news nobody cares about, just one piece here. The football card industry was rocked by news of Andrew Luck's retirement.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they've been reporting huge losses. They're selling cards, Andrew Luck cards, for 50% off.
That's weird. I almost feel like they'll be worth a lot at some point, right?
That's what I figured. Like, that seems like a collector's item.
Yeah.
Like, I got a football card from the year Andrew Luck didn't play football.
Also, do people still collect football cards?
I don't know. I remember as a kid, this makes me feel old. I remember as a kid, like, there were stores where you could go in and they would have, like, just cards, like football cards, baseball, basketball cards, and display cases.
They probably still have that somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. But like, I would literally not eat lunch for a week so I could save up my lunch money so I could go buy a football card.
That's a really sad story.
Yeah, but I have a rookie Jerry Rice card because of that. So
I believe that's #worth it.
Yeah, starving kids, worth it.
Hey, the kid started himself, okay? Like, slow down. All right.
All right, let's get into these matchups this week. I don't want to go too in depth. It's supposed to be our quick episode, so let's try and get through these kind of quick. I'll read off the matchup, Perry.
Okay.
And then we can each, anything we got on that one. So first one I got is Buffalo at New York Jets.
Okay.
What you think? Anyone you're interested in that game?
I mean, you might be playing Josh Allen, which is probably going to be just fine. I'm not playing any of the Buffalo running backs. I'm just not going to do it, even though I don't hate TJ Yeldon like Justin does. I'm still not starting any of the
Oh,
Buffalo running
don't get me
backs.
going. Don't get me going.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. As for the Jets, I mean, Le'Veon Bell,
Yep,
definitely interested.
that's what I got
Robbie
written down.
Robbie Anderson says he's going to play. Great if he plays. He's a depth start, I guess, in a deeper league. So, other than that, no. Who do you got winning the game?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think I'm going with. I'm gonna go with Buffalo.
Buffalo win the game.
Yeah.
Or I'll take the Jets then.
All right. I
Should
like
we write
it.
these down? We'll see who wins more.
Here, I'll highlight them on my little tracker. I'll highlight the ones I choose so I know which ones you choose.
Sounds good.
Vice versa. All right. So next one, I got the Rams at Carolina. I'll start out on this one.
Okay.
So things I got of interest here is how does Cam throw the ball? Like
Ooh, yeah.
is he
I wanna
throwing
see how he
it deep?
plays.
How many times does he throw it? I'm
You know,
running back. We know what we're getting there. Go ahead.
I was gonna say with Cam, I'm also interested on how much he runs the ball
Oh yeah,
and
if
how well he runs the ball.
if he avoids hits,
Yeah,
because
it'll
he is
be,
known for dropping his shoulder and actually plowing through people.
yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
And then on the Rams side, how many carries does Gurley get, and how
That's
many
the
does
question. Yeah,
and then how many does Henderson get, and how does he do with them?
right. Yeah, I also am very curious as to how well Cooper Kupp plays, how many snaps he plays. Is he the number one target there? That sort of thing. So
Oh yeah, just out of the Rams receiver core, who gets the most targets?
I think they're
But
all
I feel
startable.
I feel like that's going to be every week. It could be a different one.
Yeah, I think they're all startable for
Yeah.
sure. So,
Who you got there?
Rams.
Okay, yeah, we're agreed on that one. I'm just gonna mark the ones we disagree on.
Okay. Okay.
All right, Baltimore at Miami.
Uh, Baltimore at Miami. Let's see. I think Miami's probably going to be the worst team in the NFL.
Good call.
I really don't want to start a single Miami player at all. I don't want to start one. I don't want to own one. I really want Ryan Fitzpatrick to blow up, though. Just because it's really funny to watch everybody freak out and not know how to deal with Ryan Fitzpatrick. And the way you deal with Ryan Fitzpatrick is you go open a beer, you sit down on the couch, and you just enjoy the show. Do not go pick up Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, you watch that game, but you do not pick up Ryan Fitzpatrick.
You hope for a really good post-game interview. That's what you do. For the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, it's an exciting moment for him starting his second year. He is without a doubt the starter there now. No Joe Flacco. So it'll be interesting to see if he still runs the ball more than half the time. What's that wide receiver core look like? I think I'm interested to see how the running backs get divided. Is Mark Ingram going to get all the work? Is Justice Hill going to get a ton of the work? And then, what is it, Mark Andrews?
Yeah.
I picked him up in 2 leagues.
Me
man.
too.
Like, I'm hyped on Mark Andrews, and so I want that hype to work out.
Yeah, I got my notes here is with Lamar Jackson, if he improves throwing the ball. Same with Trubisky, what I was looking for to see if he makes that next step.
Yeah.
And then for both teams, the running back. Who's the running back on both of them? Is it Drake? Is it Balaj? And then Baltimore? Who knows?
Yeah, I guess the Drake and Balaj question, it's interesting. I don't want either of them, though. I do not want to own either.
No, but I want to see how they do.
Yeah.
Maybe one of them emerges and he's so dominant there that he has value. It could be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Next, we got...
Oh, I'm taking Ravens.
Ravens? Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no way I'm taking Miami. Next, I got Kansas City at Jacksonville. Let me get in here real quick on this one.
Dive in, man.
Deep
end.
I'll leave plenty for you. So, Damian Williams,
huge question.
Yeah. What do we have there? Is he living up to this hype that everyone's built for him? Is he not? And then Jacksonville's Jacksonville's defense. Is Saxonville back?
How bad have you wanted to say that?
I actually didn't write that. I just winged that right there. Sounded good though,
Wow,
right?
that was amazing, man.
And then last thing, Dede, is he the go-to there in Jacksonville? He was hyper targeted in preseason. Does that continue?
Yeah, all great questions. I'm excited to see how Patrick Mahomes does in his second year as a starter. Is the hype going to play out? Is he worth that second round, third round draft grade that he's been getting? I don't think so, but it'll be fun to watch. I'd like to see Tyreek Hill continue. This should be a decent game if Jacksonville has a defense that they should have, but I'm definitely taking the Chiefs.
Yeah, I want to take Jacksonville so bad here, but my better judgment is keeping me from doing it.
Do it.
All right, next we got Tennessee at Cleveland.
Oh boy. Let's see. Tennessee. Let's talk about Tennessee because Cleveland, I think there's a lot to unpack. Tennessee, it's all about Marcus Mariota, right? The reports were last year he couldn't even feel his throwing hand. Not exactly what you want to hear out of your starting quarterback. So I'm hoping that he's all better because he's shown glimpses of being a very serviceable NFL quarterback. Corey Davis, of course, it's going to be his breakout game. I don't even need to talk about it. Everybody knows that. Delaney Walker, does he still have it? We're going to find out. And then what are they going to do at the running back position? Are they finally just going to give it to Derrick Henry and let him have it? That guy is a monster.
They're not going to do it.
All he wants to do is eat.
They're not going to do it.
Feed that man.
I like everyone is expecting that to happen, which is why I say they're not going to do it.
I think it's going to happen. I think
they should.
They're just going to do it, man.
But that's my note in here is like I had the same note. Are they going to finally move to Derrick Henry? Are they finally going to give him the chance they should have years ago?
They need to. Need to.
And then my second note on here is start your Browns.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, all relevant Browns fantasy players should be started in this game. Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr., Nick Chubb, Baker Mayfield, they should all be started. Njoku, he should be started. Start them all. I think they're all going to be fantasy relevant in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Shoot, Hunt might even be worth starting in this one.
Yeah, start your Kareem Hunts, everybody.
Okay. Next we got Atlanta. Oh, who you got in that game? Do I need to ask?
The Browns.
All right, moving on.
The Browns, yeah.
Atlanta at Minnesota.
We need to start disagreeing here, man.
I think we will. Yeah.
This one's a good one.
So Atlanta at Minnesota. My notes for this one is start everyone on both rosters. This is this is going to be a high scoring game.
Did you hear the report of Stephon Diggs though? His hamstring?
Yeah, I don't care. It's going to be a high scoring game. Is Adam Thielen playing? Yeah, start him. No, is he out though? I thought he was questionable.
It's questionable.
Yeah, so if he's in, then start him. Obviously, if he's not playing, don't start him. But I think this will be like I said, a high scoring game. I want to start everyone in this.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of analysis here. I think we know exactly what we're getting from all these teams. The one thing I'm excited to see is if Alexander Madison gets some work.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah, that'd be super exciting. We'll definitely have to hit him up, try and get some input there.
I picked last time. Who are you picking?
Oh, I'm going Minnesota.
Okay, I'll take the Vikings.
Yeah, I figured
the Falcons.
The Falcons, yeah.
You go Minnesota, I'll take the Vikings.
I figured you would. I was excited about this one because I figured we were going to disagree on that.
Yeah, I'll definitely take the Falcons.
All right, we got we got Washington. So I know you said Miami is going to be the worst team this season, but in a close second, we have Washington at Philadelphia.
Yeah, that team up there in Washington, I guess I'm excited to see how Darius Geist does. I'm quietly waiting for the Jordan Reed injury to happen. It sounds like he might not even play, which is perfect for Jordan Reed. He's doing exactly what I expected him to do.
And
Uh,
perfectly what we need for Miles Sanders.
yep. Yeah. uh, no, wait. No. Jordan Reed, not Jordan
Oh,
Howard.
sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I got
Come on now.
wrong Jordan. I
Follow
got
along.
excited. Oh, yeah.
But
I had already eliminated. Reed is dead to me. I told you that. He went off a cliff. He's dead to me.
wow. If TJ Yeldon disappears, anybody, you know where to look. The Eagles, a lot of people are picking the Eagles as a possible Super Bowl contender. I think they're going to be a good team. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Carson Wentz, we'll see how he does. Miles Sanders, that's the big question, right? I want to know how much work he's going to get right off the bat. It'll be apparent very quickly how often they want to use him or how much work he's going to get, how much they like him. So Miles Sanders is a big question.
Don't get too excited on Miles Sanders this week. I expect it to be similar, even less than Montgomery with the carries. He's not going to be a breakout player. Well, I mean, he might get like some touchdowns, something like that. That could be great. Those are hard to predict. But he's not going to he's not going to lead their team in a huge amount of carries.
He could break one. I mean, that team in Washington, it doesn't have a great defense, so he could break one. So he's startable. You could start him. I feel like it's not super risky.
Oh yeah, but yeah. I wouldn't want to this week. I love having him on my team, just not week 1. Yeah. But this is a great matchup. So I'm not even going to ask you who you're choosing because that's obvious.
Yeah.
I feel like this one's obvious too at this point. So we got the Colts versus the Chargers.
Colts at Chargers. I don't know if it's that. I mean, it's not as obvious as some of the other games.
Yeah.
I think we both agree on who's going to win this game, and that's the Chargers. But Jacoby Brissett, this is a big moment. This is where we find out what do we have? What do we have out of our Marlon Macks? What do we have out of our T.Y. Hiltons?
Yeah.
What do we have out of our Jack Doyles or Eric Ebrons? So this is a very important game to know what we're working with all season. And then on the Chargers side, I think we probably expect a 50-50 split here with the running backs.
Yeah, the Chargers, I feel like we know all the players out there. They're all known quantities. There's nothing that super important we're looking for. It's more of a continuation of last year, just minus Gordon. But yeah, so we know what we're getting there. So, but I do have a note saying start your Chargers on this one. I just
both
think
running backs.
Yeah, I think they're gonna ball out. For me, I foresee this as just a huge victory on the Chargers side.
If I'm betting, I agree, but who knows, man?
Oh yeah, Brissett could come out and just, he could have a great game and just shock us all. But the reason why we'd be shocked is because that's not what we expect.
Definitely. I'm taking Chargers too.
Yeah. We got Cincy at Seattle.
Okay.
This one's interesting, I think.
Sure. So with the Seahawks, I'm just curious as to how the running back split's going to happen. I still think you could start both. Chris Carson, though, should get most of the work. When I say most, I'd say the majority, probably 60-40 is what I'm thinking. I'm curious to see how much they're going to run the ball because last season was insane. I don't really care about any of the wide receivers there. I'm sorry, Tyler Lockett owners.
Whoa, I'm a little bit offended for a DK that you didn't even mention you weren't interested in him.
I know what I said.
Don't make him flex on you.
Yeah, I'm not high on Russell Wilson this year because of the wide receiver situation. It's the same thing in Seattle every year. And I've talked to Seahawks fans before, and they always want to argue with me that they have this big, bad, awesome wide receiver, and they don't, and they haven't, and they don't in the future right now. I mean, maybe DK Metcalf in a year or two, but Tyler Lockett, come on. You think Tyler Lockett's better than Doug Baldwin in his prime? And Doug Baldwin was hardly a number one wide receiver. So, okay. Rant over on that one.
Baldwin was a fringe one. And Lockett was on that team at the time when Baldwin was the fringe one.
Exactly.
So
come on.
That's not him.
Yeah, get your heads on straight, guys.
And like, I know I'm a San Francisco fan. So a lot of I get it from Seahawks fans a lot where they think you're just hating on the Seahawks because you're a San Fran fan. No, that's just my analysis of the situation. I talk tons of crap about the 49ers, like not even crap about them. I analyze their situation and talk about it when they have a bad situation. I'm not going to be like, 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl this year because I'm their fan. That's just not realistic.
Yeah. So Tyler Lockett, yes, he should be started somewhere, but man, if he's your number one wide receiver or even your number two, I don't think your team's probably very good. As for the Bengals, how's Tyler Boyd going to do? I want to know how that's going to happen. Otherwise, we'll see.
My other note
Andy
on
Dalton
here is Joe Mixon. I don't want to see because he's been drafted pretty high this year.
Yeah.
So I want to see how he performs this year on the first game.
Yeah, Joe Mixon. Will he live up to the hype? Andy Dalton coming back from injury. Will he live up? Where he returned to form? Andy Dalton form. Jeez. Yeah. So I think that's all I'm really concerned about in this game.
Yeah. At first, when I was talking about that, I'm like, I know I'm a San Francisco fan. Then I'm looking at my list. I'm like, did I forget to put San Francisco on here? I didn't. It's the next one. So we got. Who are you choosing?
I'm taking the Seahawks.
Oh. I'm going to agree just because it's in Seattle. If it wasn't in Seattle, I'm going with Cincinnati.
Okay.
All right. So we got San Francisco at Tampa Bay.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm excited for this game as a 49er fan. I want to see if Jimmy G performs. Now, that's more of me as a 49er fan, not so much fantasy relevant, because as I'm pretty sure I talked about before, you shouldn't be drafting Jimmy G.
No.
Like I said, I could be brutally honest. Like I had high hopes for him, but he has done nothing to prove those hopes to be true. So I'm not going to make that same mistake, a second year after that, which I didn't draft him last year. But also the 49ers backfield, they got Breida listed as their number one running back right now, which was a huge shock for a lot of people. But I'm interested to see if he is truly their number one back or if he's just out there on the first carry of the game and Coleman out carries him. So I want to see how that turns out.
Yeah, I expect the game to be a pretty high scoring game, to be completely honest with you.
Man, I'm a jerk because I realized I got excited writing or like talking about this and like writing about it, and I did not mention Tampa Bay at all.
Don't worry, I'll talk about Tampa Bay. You don't want any of their running backs, so just go ahead and don't start your Ronald Jones.
In fact, drop your Ronald Jones.
Yeah, Jameis Winston will probably throw for 400 yards, 3 interceptions, and 2 touchdowns. So I guess if you're looking for something like that, congratulations. Wide receivers, Mike Evans is startable. Chris Godwin is startable. Yeah, I think that's O.J. Howard, startable.
Yeah.
I mean, start him.
Yeah.
Start all of them, all the receivers from Tampa.
And then I want to see how the wide receivers do for San Fran. Who does Pettis, is he the number one wide receiver there? How's that turn out?
Yeah.
Also, I got this a little bit different take. I want to know, who do you think performs better week one, Evans or Godwin?
Evans. I think the Godwin ascension is going to take a little while.
So I agree with you. The reason why I say that, though, is just because the 49ers, they have a much better cornerback that's going to be on the same side of the field as Evans than they do on the opposite side on Godwin. Yeah. So that's why I wonder, I don't know. I think I actually lean Godwin on this week one.
I still think it's going to be Evans just because
the talent.
well, the talent, he's obviously talented, but I think Jameis just trusts him a lot.
Yeah.
And the first week he's going to go with what he knows, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if Godwin were to come out and have a better game, I'm not going to sit here with like my mouth on the floor, my jaw just hanging open, surprise. So
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty close.
for sure, start them both. Start them both.
Yes. Who you taking?
I'm gonna take the Niners.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah.
I'll take the Bucks so you can have.
Okay. Okay.
I'll take
Good.
the
I'm
Bucks so you
taking.
can have
Yeah. I'm like I'm gonna take San Fran on this one. That's where my fandom does come out.
In a meaningless bet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, what risk?
I know. I'm crazy. So we got the New York Giants at Dallas.
Ugh. Okay, Dallas should raffle stomp. And I played too many video games. I'm sorry. Dallas should win this game.
I didn't even catch that reference.
No, that's fine. You don't need to.
Okay.
Well, the only thing here, Zeke. How much work is he gonna get? You can't sit him, so it doesn't really matter what we tell you to like what we think is gonna happen. You have to start your Zekes. Wide receivers, Amari Cooper. I know he's kind of had a little bit of a nagging injury. Is he going to be okay? Probably, definitely. We're going to start him. Dak, we're happy with Dak. I don't really want to start any Giant except Saquon Barkley and I guess Evan Ingram.
Yeah. So what I have here, I kind of smirked there a minute ago because I was reading my own notes here. And I forgot that I wrote this. I literally wrote "ha ha" after something I wrote.
That's hilarious,
right? So what I wrote was, "Will Eli lose his job week 1?" Question mark.
It's not crazy to
Right.
even ask that question.
I know, but that's not where the "ha ha" came from. The "ha ha" came from this next line. Maybe the Giants will want to pay Dak. See, a deserved haha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cowboys win this game.
Yeah. So I have same thing about Ingram in there, and then I also want to see if Saquon performs behind that stagnant offense.
I mean, he did last year. Like I said, they had OBJ.
Yeah, I expect it to be worse than last year.
All right, moving on. What else we got?
Who you choosing?
The Cowboys.
Okay, yeah. Detroit at Arizona. I'm gonna kick this one off. We got Kerryon Johnson. We got David Johnson. The battle of the Johnsons. That was not planned.
There's a baby oil joke in there somewhere.
Right. There's a few jokes in there. So I want to see this running back battle. I'm super excited about that. Kyler Murray. I want to see if he steps it up. He didn't do so well in preseason. I want to see him really step it up once the lights are on and the real cameras.
Yeah.
And which receiver gets the majority of the targets on both teams. Like I see a similar pattern with both these teams. I'm excited for their running backs. I want to see which receiver shows out.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree with all that analysis. I don't really have a whole lot to add. The Kerryon Johnson, start him. David Johnson, start him. I guess when is Larry Fitzgerald going to be surpassed?
Yeah.
Does that start this year?
Who do you take?
Ooh, this one's kind of tough. Take the Lions.
Okay. Me too.
Okay.
All right, so we got Pittsburgh at New England. Oh, man. I got my note on this one just says game of the week. Just because those teams. I'm excited for that.
I think our next one we talk about is my game of the week.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah.
But I just put yes, just yes, all of it. Running backs, wide receivers, quarterbacks, tight ends, and even kickers.
I mean, I'm not starting a New England tight end.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just excited to see all of it. Like, just all of it. Don't start a New England tight end.
Should be a good game. Could be a little preview for the AFC Championship, possibly.
Yeah, which is why I put in my game of the week. They're both teams that they're always in the playoffs.
I think there are 4 teams that could be these two, the Chiefs and the the Chargers, I guess is what I
Yeah.
would say. But so this should be a fantastic game. I agree. Start everybody. And hope for a shootout. We could get a shootout here. That'd be fun to watch. Tom Brady in a shootout. I don't know if his arm can handle it.
Yeah.
I guess it's the one question, two questions here. First season post AB and Lev Bell. They are no longer associated with the team in any way. We'll see how that works out. And then, is this the beginning of the end for Tom Brady? I don't think so, but I'm sure somebody will make some narrative there that it is.
Yeah, and one thing I didn't mention was I want to see who emerges as that number 2 wide receiver in Pittsburgh. Like we learned last
that's
night,
true.
you may think it's a settled thing, but it might not be.
Yeah, no kidding. Last night taught us either nothing or a lot. I can't decide.
We'll find out.
On the next episode of Dragon Ball. Okay.
I was going to go with the days of our lives. So
this next game's my game of the week.
hold on. First, though, who you
Oh,
choosing?
sorry. Ooh. I'm going to take the Steelers.
I'm taking New England just because.
Okay.
I also was like, yeah, Steelers got that, but I'm going with Belichick. I'm fine with that.
I think that New England kind of has a recent history of starting off slow. So I'm going to take the Steelers.
Yeah. Okay, so we got Houston at New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this game, mostly because I think that Houston is kind of a little, not underrated, but maybe forgotten a little bit. They're very good, both sides of the ball. I think you start everybody in this game as well. Is there anybody that you wouldn't start?
So
I guess
I'm a little bit worried in
situation
Houston. Yeah. That's what I was just gonna say. I'm wondering who their RB1 is.
There's the question. Okay, there's the big question of the game is we'll find out who the RB1 is. Is it Carlos Hyde? Is it Duke Johnson? I think it's Carlos Hyde, and then Duke Johnson's picking up the third down work.
I don't know. I think it might be Duke Johnson.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And then who is the wide receiver 2 in Houston?
Will Fuller, probably.
Yeah.
I think it's probably Will Fuller until he gets hurt in week 3. So.
And then we re-ask that question.
Yeah, the Saints, though, man, they're my pick to win the Super Bowl. I think that the travesty that ended last season for them,
man,
their motivation levels have to be extreme. They would be if it were me. I would want to come back and just destroy the NFL and win a Super Bowl. So I like all Saints players, and I have Alvin Kamara as my number 1 overall pick, so I better like all Saints players.
But what about Latavius Murray? How do you think he's going to perform?
I think that he's startable in a deeper league, so 12 team league. Unless, I mean, if you have to start him and you're in a 10-team league, I mean, you probably have a few other problems, or maybe your wide receivers are very good.
Yeah, if you have a strong wide receiver core, I could see you starting him in a flex spot.
But, I mean, Mark Ingram has been startable even with Alvin Kamara there.
Mm-hmm.
So Latavius should pick up that role very nicely. But I don't know. I guess new team, so there's questions, I guess, is all.
Yeah, and exactly. Like I said, I think he's startable in a flex, but yeah, I'm excited to see the role he gets in that offense.
Yeah.
Who you got?
Saints.
Yeah, me too. Oh man, last game, Denver at Oakland.
Right. This should be actually I think this is going to be a close game between two bad teams.
And I also refuse to speak anymore on Antonio Brown.
Yep, no problem. We don't need to talk about that
Okay.
guy. Denver, I guess, as a Denver fan, I'm excited to see how Joe Flacco does. I don't have high hopes, especially not for fantasy. I'm excited to see how Emmanuel Sanders is doing coming back from the injury. I'm curious as to how the running back situation is going to play out. I think we'll find out now. Philip Lindsay's probably still the guy, but maybe not for long. On the Raiders side of the ball, we get to see Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, my notes is both teams. I'm the running backs and who gets the carries, and then for both teams, how the quarterback play is.
Yeah, I'm actually, all the Joe Flacco jokes aside, I think
I mean,
he's
not all of them. Let's keep some of them in there.
Yeah, well, we'll hold on to a couple. He's, I think he's better looking than, a good football player. But anyways.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't you dare bring Jimmy G into this.
No, Jimmy G is magnificent.
Yeah.
Obviously. But I think Joe Flacco is actually a pretty large upgrade to Case Keenum.
Yeah. It's weird. It's the second episode where we have talked about the good looks of Jimmy G and Flacco.
Well, they're good-looking guys. I mean,
yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Also, Aaron Rodgers finally shaved that weird mustache.
Oh, see, dude, I was telling somebody last night I wish my wife would let me grow a mustache like that.
You just also have a beard.
I know, but she won't let me shave the rest of the beard off.
Okay. Yeah, back to football. Sorry.
Yeah. Wow, we get distracted.
But yeah, so I got the quarterback play from both. I think that's interesting. Yeah, I agree with you. Joe Flacco isn't as bad as how I like to say he is. That's mostly just me as a scoring 49er fan from that Super Bowl. But he's also not good. I'm not trying to say he's an amazing quarterback. He is a slightly above average quarterback that is slightly older than your normal quarterback now. So I'm not huge on him. He could have a great year as a veteran quarterback, but I want to see how that turns out for him. And then also David Carr, he's got new weapons there. Derek Carr, sorry. Yeah, David's his older brother.
Me?
Right? At least I listed a real car.
Ferrari. See, so did I.
Oh my God. I was holding myself back from doing that to myself. But yeah. So Carr, I want to see how he does with these new offensive weapons.
Yeah. I'm taking Denver. You have to take.
I'm taking Oakland. Yeah, I am.
You have to. That's the rule.
Yeah, you gave me San Fran, I was happy with taking Oakland here.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to say this because I said I wasn't going to talk about him, but now I need Antonio Brown to play, just so I can be right on this.
Hey, me too. He's on my fantasy team.
If he doesn't play, I'm wrong on this. Oh no, I don't want him to play because I play you this week in our main league.
And you did not have a good start to the week.
No, I did not.
Yeah, so we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, I think was it your kicker that played that kept up with my offense?
Yeah, my kicker kept up with Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones.
Yeah, that was sweet. Okay, but I was going to say this episode was supposed to be a short episode.
Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, it's just as long as our long episode, though. Might have to rename our show now.
Bonus time. Hey, we went to the Andy Reid School of Clock Management. We have no idea how to do it.
Yeah. Still figuring out what those little weird looking hand things are doing up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been looking on our little logo. They never move.
They never move. Talking about nonsense like this is just making the show go on longer.
I know, it's weird. It's almost like we don't care. All right. Man. Well, yeah, so we look forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday where we do our long episode.
Yes. Tuesday will be the longer episode.
And we're going to have to end this one here because I drank all my beer.
Yeah, mine's gone too. So on that note, everybody have a wonderful couple days. Enjoy football. We'll see you on the turn.